Hey guys, good morning. I'm here at the Petronas station at Selayang. I'm going to do a short trip through one of the good riding roads what we have in Malaysia. The road goes all the way to Batangkali. I guess by right now you guys already know what kind of motorcycle do I have. I have a Ducati Hypermotard. I want to do a short review of the ride to this road and how is my experience with this motorcycle, who is this motorcycle for, and so on and so forth. Just a short review of the motorcycle. Okay, so you can see there are some Golf Rs, Suzuki Sport, Civic Type Rs, all of them aggregated here. All of them are going to go in a convoy, so I have to go and come back before they hit the road. Okay, so this road is from Selayang and it goes to Ulu Yam, that's what the board says. And through this, if you keep going through this road, you will make it all the way to Batangkali. The name doesn't mean quite a lot of thing for our viewers, but if you are here in Malaysia, come check out this road. This is really nice. This is one of the twisties, and this is where the motorcycle really comes alive. So let's talk about the Ducati Hypermotard. I have had this motorcycle for close to a year, and I want to do a short review of the motorcycle. What are the cons of this motorcycle first, then I'll go to the pros. Who is this motorcycle not for? Let's talk about that first, and then we'll talk about who is this motorcycle for. So if you are all about speed in a straight line, this motorcycle is not for you. If you are all about bragging rights for the highest speed which you have gone, this motorcycle is not for you. If you are in the urban jungle and if you are going to stop at quite a lot of traffic lights and you got to wait in all of those traffic lights, this may not be an ideal motorcycle for you, primarily because it's an L-twin and one of the cylinder head is directly under your crotch, and that generates a lot of heat. Is it too much? It's not too much. Is it bearable? Yes, it is bearable. But does that make you a little bit uncomfortable? Yeah, it makes that a little bit uncomfortable. If you are about the highways, this motorcycle is not for you, because as you can see, there is no wind protection in the front, absolutely none. So when you are going faster on the highways, there is so much of wind buffeting, and because of which you may not enjoy the ride as much as a sports bike or a tourer. And if you are a person who plan to travel long distances, this is not a motorcycle for you. Get a Ducati Multistrada. The seat on this motorcycle is relatively hard, and because of that, if you plan to commute many kilometers at one stretch, this may not be an ideal motorcycle for you. But if you happen to stop power at every 100 kilometers or so, this is a good motorcycle for you. Other cons of this motorcycle is that it does not have a fuel gauge. Most of the supermotos will not have a fuel gauge. The Husqvarna KTMs would not have a fuel gauge. So you got to estimate the amount of kilometers which you ride, and you need to stop and refuel it every 150 kilometers or so. That's what I tend to do. So those are the minus points of this owning a Hypermotard. But let's come to the plus points. What is this motorcycle all about? This is all about having fun. Now, define fun, right? Let me take a short attempt at it. I grew up in the 90s as a kid, and the one thing which I really wanted to have was a BMX bicycle. Why? You can use it, you can abuse it, you can thrash it, you can do all kinds of stunts and wheelies on it. It will make you look cool. Did I ever have a BMX? No, I did not have a BMX. So is that the reason why I bought this motorcycle? Maybe, I'm not sure. But this motorcycle will let you enjoy the ride. If you're all about the twisties, this motorcycle is for you. So we talked about the BMX analogy earlier, and BMX, I thought the BMX makes me look cool among the other kids who did not have one. Well, I didn't have one either. It will make you look cool. It's a real head turner wherever you go. There are people who walk up to me and said that, dude, you got a cool ride. Well, my response is, man, I'm one of those lucky ones. And so that is a cool factor for this motorcycle, and that's definitely one of the charm of it. The other thing about this motorcycle is that it comes alive on roads like this. It comes alive in canyon roads. If you are about carving the canyons, you should get this motorcycle. Next, this motorcycle have a supermoto style riding position. Wider handlebars. It will give you better control compared to other sports motorcycles as well as sports tourers, I believe. You can brake into a corner and then you can come out of it really fast without too much of effort. So that's another definition of having fun on this motorcycle. You can do wheelies and stoppies and burnouts all day on this motorcycle and it won't complain a bit. Let's talk about specs on this motorcycle. Well, this is not going to blow you away with its horsepower numbers. You got 114 horsepower and it produces that 114 horsepower at 9,000 RPM. You got 94 Newton meters of torque, and that comes in as low as 3,000 RPM. So this motorcycle will continue to pull no matter whatever gear you are in. So that's what Hypermotard is all about. I talked about wheelies and stoppies and all kinds of stuff. This is definitely a hooligan bike. It will bring out the inner child in you. It doesn't matter you are in your 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s. This motorcycle will definitely bring out the inner child in you. So if you're having a midlife crisis, go get a Ducati Hypermotard. If you want to look cool, go get a Ducati Hypermotard. If you want to have fun on a motorcycle, go and get yourself a Ducati Hypermotard. If you like the supermoto style riding position, then go and get a Ducati Hypermotard. If you like to carve the roads on the twisties, go get yourself a Ducati Hypermotard. So those are the plus points of this motorcycle. There is quite a lot. It depends upon the type of rider you are. Maybe this could be your second bike. If you are all about the speed in a straight line, this could be your second bike. On a day when you feel like you want to go through the twisties, you can get on the Hypermotard and ride it like there is no tomorrow. Now I talked about this will bring out the best in you. This could probably bring out the worst in you too. So be careful with that when you ride, and be absolutely safe when you ride your motorcycle. So let's talk about what are the competition of a Hypermotard. Well, there is not too many. There is the KTM 690 SMC-R. That's a perfect supermoto, and that's a perfect motorcycle for you to do the wheelies and stoppies and all of that. Now the seat on that motorcycle is very narrow. The seat on that motorcycle is not meant for commuting distances. I'm not saying that this is meant for commuting long distances, but the seat on this one is a little more wider than KTM 690R. But if you're going to do supermoto track days, you can have an KTM 690 SMC-R. But this Hypermotard provides better seating capability compared to a hardcore supermoto. So KTM 690 SMC-R is one of the competition, but the second competition on this one is again from KTM. They recently announced KTM 890 SMT. I haven't ridden that bike. KTM 890 is a parallel twin. This one is a V-twin. Totally different characteristics when it compares to the engine and how it makes power. This is more wild. KTM is more smooth. Would you prefer a KTM compared to Ducati? If you are a KTM fan, then you will most likely love the KTM 890 SMT. What are the other competition for this motorcycle? There is not a lot which I can think of. There is not a lot of players in the supermoto market. So that's more or less a short review of my Ducati Hypermotard. It might be ironic that I'm reviewing my own motorcycle, but I want to do that for somebody who is willing to buy it, wanting to buy it. So the cars which I mentioned about in the petrol pump, they haven't started yet. Once they start coming, this road will get busy and potentially dangerous. I want to make sure that I get to review this motorcycle on this road before the convoy of cars comes in, and I think I might have achieved that. They are on the go, so you can see all of those cars which is coming as a convoy. They're doing great. There are more.